start the recording, and we're coming out of executive session. I don't think I paused the recording, so it may be two different recordings. So hopefully maybe we can put them together. But so I'd like to make a motion to come out of executive session.
Second, David.
Second.
And I'd like to make a motion to, send the lieutenant, the new police chief's contract to the town board.
Second, David.
Second, Dan.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Alex?
Great. And I think we are all set. And with that, I would like to, I don't have any announcements. And with that, I'd like to hand the monthly report over to the, I'm not sure who's giving the monthly report.
We'll be handling the report. I am here more for support.
Moral support.
This being right now, Chief Joe Snyder. So I am here so I can answer any questions that maybe you may have along. But more so, Lieutenant Lucchese is going to run the meeting, and if there's any questions, and I'm here to support him. I know he's run meetings before, but being it's the last meeting that I'll officially be your chief, I figured I'd be sitting in more in the shadows, but I'm here if you have any questions.
No, well, what I can say is I wish we could have a bigger party for you.
Someday.
We will.
Yes.
Good.
Right now, we all stay strong as a community and deal with the WebEx and Zooms and whatever else we need to get through. But there'll be a sunnier day ahead, I'm sure. So thank you.
And that it's to you, Lieutenant.
Okay, so with that, I do have a couple of announcements. We are all set up here, and I know I mentioned this on some of the daily phone calls, but we are set up here for the virtual arraignments. So moving forward, we will be doing arraignments in one of our front interview rooms set up, so we can do that with one of the 7 judges within the county. So we will not be doing in-person arraignments anymore. We had accreditation. We had an on-site accreditation assessment that was supposed to be 21st. That got postponed. And then I know it's noted on the body cameras. That's getting pushed back at least until the first week of May. At that point, we're hoping to be able to get a date for installation on that. But that's what I have in terms of announcements. I don't know if anybody has any questions about any of that stuff. If not, we had 4 commendations this month. The first was from members of the New Paltz Rescue Squad. They specifically cited Officer Yant for his patience in dealing with a subject that they had had multiple calls for, mental health calls in a short period of time. And they wanted to thank all the officers, but they specifically cited Officer Yant and his patience and demeanor in dealing with this individual. They wanted to thank us. The second commendation was for Officer Carpinelli, pertaining to his handling of a civil matter between this was received via email. The person wanted to thank him for the way he was able to mediate a dispute between he and a business owner. I thought it ended fairly and just complimentary of him. The third compliment was for Officer Bunce, wanting to thank him for all of the work he put into. It was started out as a barking dog complaint and ended up finding somebody trespassing inside of a residence while the resident themselves was in a medical facility. Duke was able to contact family to verify all this, and even went so far as to making sure the dog was cared for, and they wanted to thank him for his actions. They felt it went above and beyond. And then the last one was a complimentary, one of the forms that we have filled out for Officers Cisco and Milton for their handling of a welfare check. person just wanted to thank them for their compassion, their understanding, and their respect. It was actually the person we were contacted about who submitted the comment. Felt that they handled the situation very well. I don't know if there's any questions on any of those. If not,
Nope.
we submitted defensive action reports for 4 different cases. The first defensive action report is submitted for an incident that occurred in January. This is one that we had reviewed in executive session at prior meetings, as you can read from the notes. In this case, the defendant in this case was a 25-year-old white male, non-Hispanic, approximately 5 feet 6 inches tall, 130 pounds. The individual had been taken into custody for assault in the 2nd degree, and while being transported from an area hospital to the station, the officer was placing him in a patrol car, and during that time struck him in the face with a closed fist. The investigation student, as a result of all of this and the use of force, was found to not be in compliance with our department policy and training. The second defensive action case, there are 2 reports. It's the same individual. In this particular case, defendant is a Hispanic male, approximately 5 feet 11 inches tall, 180 pounds, 20-year-old male. Arrested and charged with disorderly conduct. This was stemming from a fight that had occurred downtown with another individual. When the officers went to place him into custody, he took a fighting stance against one of the officers, challenging them. The defendant was, when he was told he was under arrest, the defendant was physically directed to the ground, where he was subsequently handcuffed. Both officers in this case filed defensive actions for the use of compliance techniques. In the one report, it was for the taking him down to the ground, and then the other one was for assisting them, and then getting him into cuffs. And then the third defensive action report is related to a mental health arrest. This was a 43-year-old male, approximately 5 feet 11 inches tall, 170 pounds, white male. And this was a mental health transport. We were responding to a call for service. The individual became hostile and combative with the officers. They attempted to try to get him on the stretcher, and at this point, the officer used a wrist lock to gain control of the and for him for the transport to the hospital. And the last one is for an incident that occurred in March as well. This is 2 defensive action reports for the same defendant. The defendant in this case is a white male, 5 feet 7 inches tall, 21 years of age, approximately 150 pounds. The subject in this case was initially arrested for an altercation downtown and was brought back here to the police department. He was uncooperative and slightly antagonistic during the processing itself. The officers were able to process him, and as they were escorting him out of the building, he began to videotape and trying to videotape and move around the building prior to exiting in the lobby. The officers attempted to prevent him from doing what, moving around the building unaccompanied. At this point, they ended up physically directing him down to the ground. One of the officers used a wrist lock to try to place his arms behind his back. The other officer attempted to use a pinning technique to get him down onto the ground. Ultimately, they were able to bring him in the handcuffs and then process him again further. And the defendant then was ultimately released after that. That's all I have in terms of commendations and defensive action reports.
Great. And I think that's all we have for this meeting. So, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, I'm sorry, there was one thing that, I don't know if there's any questions in regards to the purchase of the vehicles, or that's just moving to the town board meeting?
Yeah, that's going to be at the town board.
Okay.
May-
If anyone has any questions, go ahead.
Yeah, may I ask a question? Can you talk a little bit, Rob, about what the environment is out there with very little activity on the streets and actions at bars and things like that? What is the role, like, what is the role of the police force right now? And is there, you know, are tensions rising in the community? Are you seeing anything that's concerning you or anything like that? In, you know, this is not a usual policing environment that we're used to by any means. So what are you seeing? Can you give us a little picture of what it's like to be a member of the police force right now?
I definitely think there is, you know, fear and uncertainty in the community in terms of the types of crimes that we are dealing with. We're starting to see gradually an increase in property crimes and domestics. How that correlates, you know, to last year or a month, you know, it's still too early to tell. What I can say, though, is that, you know, in the last 7 to 10 days, we've handled more domestics than we did the prior 7 to 10 days. And same thing with property crimes. So we are seeing some of those, and you know, we're handling those. We're seeing some counterfeit cases, thefts, things like that. We have handled a couple serious domestic incidences as well. You know, I think the concern that, you know, I know I've expressed to the chief, and even Lieutenant Butler and I have, is the fact that there are probably more domestics that are going unreported because people are forced to live in an environment where that, you know, there is no alternative. If I report, you know, my abuser, then I'm going to be homeless, or you know, where can I go? So those are definitely concerns, and the same thing with you know, child abuse, you know, child neglect. Those are definite concerns that we have right now. In terms of everyday patrol, we want, you know, we're still trying to maintain as much of a routine in the sense that we're conducting step details, stationary patrol details. We're out there on foot patrol. You know, we're not shying away from those things. We're not really trying. We're really only trying to engage the most serious and, you know, of offenses at this point. We're also starting to receive more reports via the New York State PAWS portal. So we're starting to investigate those and make warnings when those cases or violations are confirmed. And we're getting phone calls, just a lot of phone calls about, you know, masks and social distancing and things like that. I don't know if that answered your question. I think you're on mute.
I'm also concerned about the domestic violence and child abuse increases. I mean, they're being reported everywhere, so it's no news. But is there anything that, is there anything that we can do to support those situations if we know that there are situations that are, you know, there are rough situations and rough living arrangements that are going to be lending themselves to continued complaints and things like that, where we can use our community response team or something else that we can be doing proactively? Or are you already doing that and coordinating some of those?
We're relying upon outside resources. So, you know, crime victims assistance. We are, you know, anytime we're dealing with the domestic situations, that entails a phone call to, at the bare bones minimum, crime victims assistance. If there is, you know, any, if we suspect child neglect, child abuse, or anything like that, on top of that, we're going to make those phone calls to CPS as well. You know, we will at this point, you know, through crime victims, we can also utilize the resources of Safe Harbor and other domestic shelters, you know, if possible. You know, we haven't had to use that yet, but we are at least making those referrals when appropriate, in the circumstances. And just anecdotally, you know, what I'm hearing even from, you know, other agencies is that they're handling these domestics, and more often than not, even if an order of some of these domestics involve orders of protection where they're not full stay away orders, they're really just no harass orders because of the living situation and no alternative. They're there. So in those cases, those agencies like ours are trying to make referrals to crime victims to follow up and see where they can be of assistance.
Thank you.
I think you're on mute.
You're on mute, Neil.
Yeah. Okay, great. So it's 7 o'clock. We can start we can close the police commission meeting, and we can start the town board meeting. So I'd like to make a motion to close the town board as police commission meeting.
Second, Dan.
And I'd like to, all in favor?
Aye.
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 And I'd like to make a motion to open the April 16th, 2020 New Paltz Town Board meeting.
Second, Julie?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 And so let's see, we have, like to make a motion, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
To the
To the
flag,
flag,
United States of
United
America,
States of
and to the
America,
republic,
and to the
which
republic
stands
for which it
one
stands,
nation,
one
under God,
nation,
under God,
under
indivisible,
God,
with liberty
indivisible,
and justice
with
for all.
liberty and justice for all.
We're getting a little bit better at that. Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second, Dan.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And let's see. I'd like to. I have no other announcements other than just to repeat. This is on the same video, but if anyone has any input or comments, please email them to the to clerk@townofnewpaltz.org, and we can enter them into the minutes. So with that, I have no other announcements, and if there is no one new who has joined the meeting, so I assume there are no public input. And with that, we're not going to go into executive session because there's no need to do that. We've already done that. And so I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract for the new police chief, Police Chief Lucchese,
Second,
Aye.
Julie?
and authorize the supervisor to sign it, and we'll be swearing him in at a later date when we can all get together and do this. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Supervisor, and board, as you know, we have a COE for the eligible list for the chief's position. So Lieutenant Lucchese will send that over to the town hall probably tomorrow. Obviously, my effective retirement date is the 25th, Saturday, so that's when the vacancy will begin. So we'll put on that date for the 25th that he'll officially be the chief for you. And then the swearing in could take place, at any time after that. That just has to be done within a 30-day period. But he's got time for the swearing in. But we will get the COE over to you so that can be taken care of with civil service.
Sure. Great.
And I'm really excited for him. He's going to do a great job, and I'm happy for the leadership here in the agency. And once again, thank you as a board and a commission You did a fantastic job with taking the time to make this a smooth transition, and it's going to show. So thank you.
Well, Chief, I cannot thank you enough for guiding us through this. When you brought this up, I thought you were kind of rushing us. And here we are. This is our last meeting. We're just getting this in under the wire. You know what you're doing, and you knew you were right. And I appreciate your being such an asset through this transition. I think it's a credit to you and the whole agency that this has gone so smoothly. So thank you.
Great, thank you. I appreciate it, and it did go fast.
And
I second what Neil said. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
You're
Alex.
welcome, Alex. My pleasure.
You guys make it easy for us to do this job. Thank you.
That's true. And thank you, Chief Snyder, so much for your service.
Thank you, Julie. Appreciate it.
Welcome, Rob. Lieutenant.
I think especially during these, really tumultuous times, it's nice having you there. So thank you very much.
Well, I'll still be a phone call away, but I think we have everything under control here. So.
The birds are happy too.
I hear them.
It's like when the bird landed on Bernie's podium.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, thank you. And I don't think we can say it enough, but I think you're leaving behind a real legacy with the force. So, thank you again.
My pleasure. Thank you. And thank you to all the community residents, people that I've worked with over the years. It's been fantastic. So, ups and downs like any other job. That's why they call it a job. But it's a great community to work for, and I'm very proud to have been here. And glad this was my choice of employment. And I'm glad I got to start back in 1988 here. I was a young little gent back then. So I've learned a lot over the years.
Well, I think we're all looking forward to getting together, and once the social distancing is over, and having a real celebration of your career. So thank you again.
Sounds good. Thank you.
And actually, sorry, I just wanted to speak quickly too and just say that how much I've appreciated working with you, Chief. I think you were one of the first meetings I had when I was elected to the town board, and I really appreciate you having the time and patience to walk me through everything. And I genuinely mean this in a very positive way. You really changed my view and understanding of what you all do as a department, which has been invaluable as well. So thank you. And we're really going to miss you. And I'm really happy that personally I had the opportunity to serve with you as long as I did.
Thank you, Dan. It's been a pleasure. It definitely has. And I think it's credit to how the board operates, with you all wanting to take the time to come in and look and learn and see what we do, because it is a learning curve. It's a learning curve for all of us. And the ability and the willingness of the board to want to come in and learn, that's what makes us all work so well together. Understanding. And that wasn't always the case, but it's taking place, and it has been, in recent years. So this is what makes the difference. So I hope that continues. I'm sure it will. Again, thank you all for what you do there, because it makes it easy for us as well.
Our pleasure.
Great. And so I find my place here in my packet. But the next is the approval of the minutes from the joint meeting for April 2nd, 2020. I guess there maybe needs to be some revisions that are made. I don't know if anyone else has any comments or anything. I'm trying to get to them now. Hopefully I'm better with the video this time. But does anyone have any comments, or are we okay with approving the minutes as written?
Neil, the first part of the video was cut off, so I did the best that I could with them. If anybody has anything that they can tell me about, I can add that to them, but that's as much as I could get.
I mean, basically, we just followed there was, things, nothing was really done. I started the video late again today. We didn't have the pledge in there, but I may just start the video automatically. So, I'd have to go back and look. I don't think there was anything all that consequential
Okay.
in the minutes that we missed.
Okay.
So with that, I'd like to make a motion to approve the joint minutes from April 2nd, 2020.
Second, Julie?
Second, Dan.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next is I'd like to make a motion for the purchase request for the replacement trailer for B&G. Motion to approve the purchase.
Second, David?
Does anyone want to have any discussion about this? We've talked to Chris a little bit about it. Unfortunately, we're not going to be getting any insurance money. There was an accident. The trailer was totaled. We kind of need the trailer to get the work done. So we need to do it.
Why did we not get insurance money on that? Do we know what happened? Alex.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. I think it depends on, I don't know, do you know anything about that, Chris? Why we may not have gotten insurance money? Or was it total? It was total, but I don't think we got any insurance money, did we? Chris can't hear us. I can ask about that.
Yeah, it just seems a little odd. Why, if it was insured, why it wouldn't be covered?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. It might have been below the deductible too.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very old trailer, and being that we're self-insured, by the time we got done with what it's worth to what it's costing with the deductible, it's kind of an even swap.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Okay.
Thank you. You explained it better than I did, Chris. Thank you.
Thanks.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 The next is a maintenance renewal for DocuWare. This is the software that we use to basically, all of the town employees. This is how we file all the paperwork electronically online and keep it all working. And there's an annual contract with that. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the renewal.
I second, Alex.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And this last one, we talked about it a little bit. This is the motion to authorize the purchase of one vehicle and the lease of another one. These are 2020 Interceptors for the police. We're using, for the purchase, we're using money that Jen Metzger helped us get for SUNY Impact Aid. And I don't know if the chief and the lieutenant are still on here, but these are, I don't know if you want to describe the vehicles at all. These are
Ford SUV hybrids. So the hope for us is that, obviously gas and more environmentally sound, and that with the officers doing more and more work out on the road and in the cars, it will these cars will be able to sustain that level of the draw on the electronics, and also help alleviate some of the issues that we're having with oil changes as often as we are. So we're excited about these vehicles. We think they're in line with what the community is trying to do in terms of playing smart, and hoping that we see positive things so that we can move towards hybrids with all of our marked units.
Um, So all in favor?
Aye.
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 Did someone second that already?
David
I second.
Okay,
Alex.
great. So the next is a motion to authorize the Moriello Pool labor hires at $12.50 an hour. And like I said, this is to really get the paperwork started. We're not hiring anyone yet. These would be mostly to help Bill, mow the grass or do other things around there, if and when we decide that work needs to get done, and if we can't get it done with other town employees, the grass has to get cut. But we're not bringing anyone in just yet. It's mostly just to get the paperwork started because that takes a while. And
Second, Dan.
any discussion?
Just a point, they're not all at $12.50 an hour, Neil. Everyone's at a different rate on that schedule.
Yeah. So this is these are for when everyone starts as when they're doing the laboring work, everyone gets paid $12.50 an hour.
Thank you for the clarification.
And then when we bring them on, depending on if they're a lifeguard or a gate attendant, they have different rates of pay. But when they're doing before the season starts, they're all doing the same work, and they all get the same rate of pay.
Thanks for clarifying.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 And this next one is a discussion of the building permit process. I don't know if we have that. If people want to talk about it. Yes?
For the police department, I think we've covered everything that was on the agenda that included us. Is there anything else that you'd like us to stay here for, or are we clear to remove ourselves from your meeting?
No, we're good. My recording has just froze up, so I think we're losing recording right now, but we're all set now.
Okay, we'll sign off, and thank you again, everybody, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good night.
So my WebEx has frozen up. I can hear someone, but my
We can hear you.
oh, okay.
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Yeah, everything has kind of frozen. So we can, I don't know if we still have the clerk on here, we basically don't, we have discussions now. There's nothing left to approve. I can I can close everything down if you guys want to close it out, and we can re-log on if you want to try that. But we don't really have any. The Edmunds for the warrant, this month's warrant has there's a problem with Edmunds. We're doing some upgrades, and so they weren't able to get the warrant done today. But what we at the last meeting with or one of the meetings in March, it's all vague now, but we authorized the supervisor to sign the warrant without a meeting, and so I think we're okay. I can still sign the warrant. I was just going to make another motion tonight just to make sure we're okay with it, authorizing me to sign this month's warrant once Edmunds is done with the upgrade, so we can pay the checks.
I'll make that motion, David.
I'll second, Dan.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 And the rest is, we're just some discussions about the building permit process. It's really, I wanted to have a discussion on the video so people could see it. But the video is like everything is stopped, so we can't really do it anyway. But it's all posted on the website. You know, Stacy wrote some stuff up. Governor's executive order. You know, all construction except essential construction is stopped, and Stacy's written that up. And it's mostly I wanted to have a discussion to let the public know that that was the case. That you know, there are people still working, and if they see someone on a construction site, you know, it's probably because it's considered essential construction and they have a permit. But we don't have a video, so we can't really have that discussion. And then I think Julie wanted to have a discussion about chickens. So
Okay, so we can have that, right?
yeah, we can have it.
Okay. So it just seemed to me we might want to discuss the possibility that we would allow town residents to keep chickens. The village has, you know, has a law that allows people to keep chickens, and they have, and Neil and I have spoken a little bit about this, but I have the village's law and their code, and I'll just read some features of it in case we wanted to, you know a little bit more about what we might do. You know, the village allows the keeping of chickens if they're kept in a clean and sanitary manner. They don't constitute a nuisance. And I'm just sort of taking little pieces of this that I thought were most relevant. There's, you know, I can forward to anyone the law, but you can also look it up on the village's website. The no roosters. You can should have a minimum. Chickens shall be provided a minimum of 3 square feet of coop space plus 10 square feet of run space per chicken. In residential zones, you can't raise them or sell or barter for commercial purposes the chickens. They do have to be kept in a fenced-in area, which includes the coop. Includes a coop. We would offer chicken keeping licenses. Tenants who wish to keep chickens must apply for a chicken keeping license jointly with the property owner. And of course, the inspector can deny permits for failure to meet any of the requirements for public health or for public health, safety, and welfare, or any other violation of this code. So that's about it. Anyone want to, you know, I mean, it just has to do with this. I've seen a lot of people wanting to, I hear chicks are, you know, can be sold out. A lot of people wanting to now keep chickens so that they have a source of eggs. And I thought if the village does it, I at least want to have a discussion.
Well, I think my only thought on that, Julie, is that I think chickens make some noise, but I think we should be a little bit careful also if people want to have roosters because they're pretty loud.
They say no roosters.
No roosters, just chicks.
Just hens. No roosters shall be permitted.
Just hens.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so that makes sense.
As a chicken owner for many years, without a rooster, that one hen will start making all the noise and become the rooster anyway, from a noise standpoint. So it doesn't really solve the problem of noise. It's acceptable to me personally, but
Sorry.
Yeah, that's all I was going to say is that it doesn't really address the noise thing completely, although a rooster will always be a rooster and cock-a-doodle-doing in the morning, but a hen will also do that in the absence of a rooster.
Uh-huh.
Gotcha.
Well,
I just wonder if we wouldn't at some point start getting some phone calls where, you know, people say, hey, you know, there's like all this noise next door. But I guess we can just deal with that on a one-to-one basis.
Well, one of the requirements is that it doesn't constitute a nuisance. So that, I think that would fall under that if it's considered a nuisance. You know, someone complained that it may, if that problem is not solved, then they may lose their license.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
I mean, the village has had this law since like 2012. And, you know, it doesn't seem like it's been a big problem. You know, maybe we could talk, I've always found it really kind of strange that, you know, the town is, lots of parts of the town anyway, are much more rural than the village, and we don't allow chickens, but the village has allowed chickens, you know, for 5 years now.
There are
This is
some
a
parts
very-
of town where it's allowed, but they're small. They're very small. Yeah.
This was a very controversial topic like a decade ago. I think the town did actually look at this. I think some of that was a personality thing. I've never had a major objection to this, and I kind of echo what you're saying too, Neil. I'm fine with us moving forward in some degree on this.
I mean,
I'm fine with moving forward too.
I mean, I think we can't, it's hard for us to, I think, do a lot right now, certainly with the public hearings on pause until after June 1st. But, you know, it's unlikely that we would get that, you know, but I mean, I want to have this discussion because I really think it's worth considering as well. I think there are a lot of people in the town that have chickens and are just doing it illegally.
100%.
And it doesn't seem like it's a huge issue, even though people are doing it totally illegally. So why not legalize it and make it acceptable? That's just my.
We can't have public hearings until after June. You said.
That was my understanding from the executive order. I can read it again.
That's my understanding as well, too.
I had to send it to the planning board secretary today, but it's executive order 202.15 provides that any public hearing scheduled or otherwise required to occur in April or May of 2020 shall be postponed until June 1st, 2020 without prejudice. And I just think it's complicated to have a public hearing right now.
Actually, I have a public hearing question. So the public hearing law is we have to notice it in publications. Do we have to update anything as a town in light of the fact that the New Paltz Times is no longer a publication, a printed publication?
Yeah, we talked about that today at our staff meeting, and we're probably going to be going to our secondary paper.
Time Child Record?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
For that reason.
Which was that? I didn't hear.
I'd have to look again. I think it's the Times Herald Record, or it might be the Freeman. I'd have to go back and look. It's in the reorg. But yeah, they're aware of it. So yeah, I think it's worth looking over. I think maybe talk to the Corey in the village and see if they've had any issues that you know. I know the village has updated their law several times since 2012. So I think they've probably gotten a bunch of kinks out. I think the last update was pretty recently, and so it's worth, you know, talking to them and seeing if they're happy with it. If they were starting over, what would they do differently? My preference is to try to keep it as close to the village's law as possible, just because it's easier for people, certainly in like your neighborhood, Julie, when they're not even sure if they live in a village or the town. You know, the difference is one street. Or, you know, think of on Henry W. If you live to the north or south of Henry W., you'd have different chicken ordinances, which seems insane. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's worth having a discussion.
Thanks. I will certainly look into that with Corey, and if I'll send her on, if we haven't yet, the village's law. Did we do that yet?
I don't think so.
All for chickens throughout the town.
Every chicken in every pot, is that? No one just egg or chicken pun,
Chicken
you know,
dinner.
exactly, or the goat you. Feel so cooped up. Anyone else feel cooped up?
I had a
You
friend
can
that,
shell it out, can't you?
I had a friend that used to mix his metaphors, and Mike Miller, I worked with him for a long time, and he'd always try to pay attention, and he probably would have said something like, but whenever you try to make something up, it doesn't sound as good. He'd have something like, don't put the chicken before the cart, something like that. His were better because they weren't made up. He just did them unintentionally, but I think about it. But we'll work on it.
Funny.
Okay. For next meeting. It is on the agenda.
There was one, the carrot or the egg was a good one.
What came first, the carrot or the egg? I like
It
that.
it was a mix of the chicken and the egg or the carrot and the stick. And
Stick,
so,
yeah.
they were always like that. But whatever, we're having a meeting. I don't want to get too much into it. But anyway, so but it was. I think it's worth talking about, Julie. So thanks for bringing it up.
Thanks.
And other than that, we're all done. We can adjourn at 7:29.
Motion to adjourn. Dan?
Second, David?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you,
Aye.
everyone.
Have a great
Good
evening,
night.
everyone.
All right.
Yeah, you too.
Have a nice
Thank you.
evening.
Take
Be
care,
safe,
Chris.
everybody. Take care, guys.
See you
Thanks,
later.
Chris. Bye.
Bye.